Part 2, The Children of Fire. The dawn of that day carried the metallic taste of fear. There were no birds singing, no signs of life, only the distant crackling of ruins collapsing under their own weight. Aiden put out the fire and followed the shattered road. The landscape looked as if it had been shaped by a furious blind giant. Open craters, trees burned down to the spine, lampposts twisted like broken bones. He walked with a heavy heart, not only because of what he had seen, but because of what he sensed. Something in the air had changed. The silence seemed thicker, as if it were hiding from something larger. A bad omen crawled across Aiden's skin like a cold wind, and he was right. As he crossed a narrow valley, he saw a plume of smoke on the horizon different from the others he knew. It wasn't the usual smoke from bombings or burning houses. It was dense, dark, almost solid, a marker of territory, sign that someone or something was near. Aiden crouched low, moving carefully among the rocks and debris. He heard footsteps. Many, and at the same time, none. The marching was organized, rhythmic, almost ritualistic. When he raised his head above the rocky ridge, he saw a group moving down the road, and he froze. They weren't regular soldiers. They were teenagers, maybe 15, 16 years old, marching with mechanical discipline. They all wore the same worn-out uniform, the same war paint on their faces. Their eyes held no light, no fear, nothing, just a deep emptiness, as if they looked beyond the world, the children of fire. Aiden had heard of them. Kids taken from their families, trained from childhood to obey without hesitation. Their commanders stripped them of their names to erase any trace of humanity. They were used as disposable weapons, sent on missions no adult would dare to accept. And now, they were walking straight toward him. Aiden didn't move. Every muscle burned with tension. The group passed less than 30 feet from him, but none of them turned their heads. They marched like living shadows, as if the world were nothing but a narrow hallway leading them to a single purpose. When they finally disappeared into the distance, Aiden let out his breath slowly. He started to rise until a whisper behind him froze his spine. "Don't move." The voice was young, low, barely a thread of sound. Aiden turned slowly. A boy of about 13 was pointing a revolver at his head. But the weapon wasn't what caught Aiden's attention, it was the boy's eyes. They were different from the others. Not dead, not empty, terrified. I can't let you go," the boy stammered, trembling. Aiden lifted his hands slowly. "What's your name?" he asked, keeping his voice as calm as possible. The boy swallowed hard. I don't have a name." Aiden felt something tighten in his chest. Another erased. Another childhood stolen. "You do?" Aiden said softly. "Everyone does?" The boy's breath shook, as if he were fighting something inside his own mind. "They said names make you weak," he whispered, "that remembering who I was would kill me." Aiden took a small step light, careful. "Do you believe that?" The boy hesitated, and in that moment of hesitation, the world seemed to stop. He lowered the gun slightly, looked down, then back at Aiden. I don't know what to believe anymore." There was no time to continue. A sharp whistle cut through the valley, metallic, threatening. Aiden knew instantly. The commanders were calling them back. If they found the boy separated from the group, he would be punished. Punished in ways Aiden didn't dare imagine. "Go," Aiden whispered, "or they'll find you." The boy bit his lip, the weight of the decision crushing him. "Should run too." "I'm trying," Aiden said with a sad smile. Before Aiden could say anything else, the boy ran off, disappearing among the rocks, like a frightened shadow. Aiden felt a deep ache in his chest, a mix of rage, sorrow, and something strange. Hope. That boy still had life in him, still had a soul. Maybe he could save at least one. He walked for hours toward the Black Mountains, a dangerous territory filled with insurgent groups, but also rumored to hide a place known as the Silent Caves, where some survivors were said to be hiding. Maybe he would find help there, or maybe he would find his end. By nightfall, the wind changed. It became colder, sharper. Aiden knew it meant only one thing. Something was coming down from the mountains. And it came. A thunderous blast echoed through the slopes. then another. The ground trembled under his feet. Aiden dropped low as the darkness was torn apart by orange flashes. Explosions. Many. Not far away. Too close. The smell of gunpowder filled the air. Screams mixed with the roar of detonations. And then he saw it. A whole village hidden at the base of the mountain was under attack. Families ran. Children cried. Makeshift shelters caught fire. The shadows of soldiers moved across the settlement like a storm of metal. Aiden didn't think. He just ran. He arrived just in time to see a man thrown to the ground, his face bloodied. A woman tried to shield her children with her own body while soldiers ripped any hope of escape from her hands. Aiden acted on instinct, pure adrenaline, pure desperation. He knocked one of the soldiers down from behind. Another turned quickly, but Aiden grabbed his arm, twisted, and sent him to the ground screaming. But there were more. There were always more. 3 soldiers emerged from the flames, marching toward him. Aiden stepped back, searching for cover. The heat of the fire burned his skin. Smoke stung his eyes. Then something unexpected happened. One soldier collapsed, shot by someone hidden in the dark. Another dropped immediately after. The third turned to aim at the source of the gunfire, but didn't have time. A massive stone struck his head. Aiden looked up the hill, and there he was, the boy, the same boy, the child of fire, now burning inside for another reason. He held the weapon with both hands, shaking. His eyes were no longer afraid. They were resolved. He had chosen. Aiden ran to him. "What are you doing here?" he said, pulling the boy behind a rock before any enemy could spot him. The boy breathed fast. They came to destroy the village," he said, "and I couldn't just stand there." Aiden grabbed his shoulder. "Shh, you saved lives. You did what no one expected from you." The boy looked at his own hands, as if only now realizing the weight of his choice. "They're going to hunt me down," he whispered. "Then I'll stay with you," Aiden replied. And in that moment, the bond between them stopped being coincidence. It became purpose. When the night finally calmed, only destruction remained. But some villagers had survived. Few, injured, shaken, but alive. Aiden helped put out fires, tend to wounds, clear debris. The boy worked beside him without stopping. He looked as if he were trying to clean the world with his own hands. When the chaos settled, Aiden sat next to him, exhausted. The warm glow of the dying fire illuminated the boy's dirty face. "Do you have a name?" Aiden asked again, more gently this time. The boy hesitated. For a long moment, as if digging into his own mind hurt. His voice cracked. "I think I did, but they erased it." Aiden placed a hand on his shoulder. "Then we'll make one." The boy looked up, a faint spark in his eyes. Small, fragile, but alive. "You choose," Aiden said. The boy thought. For a few seconds, it looked like he was fighting his own history. And then he whispered, "Cael." Aiden smiled. "Welcome back, Cael." The boy inhaled deeply, as if the name lifted an invisible weight off his chest. But the relief didn't last. A monstrous roar tore through the valley, sound Aiden had never heard before, a sound that wasn't human. Survivors curled in fear, flames flickered, dogs howled. Cael turned pale. "They're coming," he whispered. "And they won't stop until they find me." Aiden stood slowly. There were now 2 paths. Run from the world, or face it. He looked at Cael. Looked at the survivors, looked at the trembling horizon filled with the echoes of human and inhuman monsters born of war, and he knew what he had to do. "Then we go meet them," he said. Cael's eyes widened. "You're insane." "No," Aiden replied. "I'm just tired of running." And that was how the darkest part of their journey began. The part where heroes aren't born, they bleed. End of part 2. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel and receive more videos like this.